Welcome to Module 4 of the Possibility Practice. By this point, your team has probably named the stuck, interrupted their pattern thinking, and shrunk the problem into something that's testable. So in Module 4, we're now going to get the experiment set up. This step matters because teams typically get stuck because they're looking for perfect solutions. In this way of running an experiment, we're doing iterative process thinking, something that allows us to have experimentation as a bedrock in the culture of our team. Again, we are not working on solving the problem. We're working on learning about our problem so we can continue to move forward. Here's the experiment you can run with your team. And as a guideline, it should take at least 48 hours, but no longer than 2 weeks to run. Step 1 is to ask the core question. What is the smallest action we can take in the next 48 hours or 2 weeks to learn something about our problem? Our goal is not to fix it. Our goal is not to solve it. Our goal is to learn about it. In step 2, you're now going to work on designing that micro experiment to run, and it's going to have some key pillars to it. First, it needs to be small, something that you can do quickly. Second is reversible. If it fails, there should be no harm done. 3, low risk. No approvals or big resources would be needed for this experiment. And then number 4, measurable. You know exactly what you're looking for. At this point, you can move into step 3, where you're going to define success. You'll do that by asking your team one key question. We will know if it worked if. Don't get too complicated by going big. In step 4, you're going to assign ownership. You're going to pick a very small portion of your team, hopefully just 2 to 3 people, to execute that experiment and gather the data. Here's another example way to introduce this step to your team to get buy-in in the process. We're not looking for the perfect solution. We're looking for the smallest step that helps us learn something. What can we test in the next 48 hours? Stating it like this allows you to lower pressure on the team and the risk associated with it. So we're no longer looking for perfect solutions that are high risk. Now, with all things, as you facilitate this, there's a couple things that show up to be aware of. First is that a lot of teams think of experiments that are too big. It may be helpful to have an example ready of more of an agile approach that's small, quick, and gives great feedback in a short amount of time. Number 2, people often start building experiments that require permissions or resources. Just remind them that we are looking to have small things that are within our zone of influence specifically. Your job is to keep them focused on learning and not perfection. So a friendly reminder about constraint-based thinking or a constraint-based approach often goes a long way. So as a quick reminder, keep it tiny, keep it fast, and within our control. When teams start testing smaller steps of things, they go from a waiting model to a learning model, which really empowers them and builds a lot of ownership on teams. In Module 5, what we're going to work on is a really critical stage, which is reflection and refinement.